Okay, guys, we are going to work on pronouns today. So we're going to take some notes on pronouns. We're actually going to use two sets of pages, okay? So you're going to have one that just says pronouns, and the other one is going to say pronouns and antecedents. So you might need to wait until you see me write it all down, but make sure you fill out both your table of contents and your pages. But you're going to use two sets. So one set that's going to say pronouns and another set's going to say pronoun and antecedent. So we're going to use a total of 4 pages. So once you have that all labeled and ready to go, then come on back. Okay, welcome back, you guys. So I need these first two pages that you guys are filling out today is going to say pronouns. Make sure you have a date and you have page numbers, okay? Okay, your next two pages are going to say pronouns and antecedents. Okay, so you see how you spell that? Okay, so we do have a couple of foldables that we need for today. So you need one that looks like this. Okay. You need one that looks like this. 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 And one that looks like this. Now, for the most part, most of these are not going to be cut up. Okay, so the only one we are cutting is this one. Okay, and all you're doing is you're going to cut cutting it just like this. Okay, what you do need to pay attention to in the next few minutes is what page I'm taping these on. So I'm going to start on the pronouns page, okay? So pay attention to what's getting taped down where, okay? Here goes nothing. Okay, so welcome back. So just for your knowledge, this over here is just for your reference. Okay, so it has, on this side, it has the types of pronouns. So you have 3 different kinds of pronouns. We have subjective pronouns, objective pronouns, and possessive pronouns. And it gives you the definition, and then it gives you these examples. Okay, so if you ever need to know this, this is right here. Okay, we're also going to go over them again here, but we're also going to go over it when it comes to your case. So first person, second person, third person, first person, second person, third person. Okay. So here's the deal. I'm actually going to do this in pencil because I can actually write smaller in pencil. Just throwing that out there. So you should never have a problem of getting your tense correct when it comes to pronouns. If it's a subject pronoun, okay, and it's first person, it's going to be I. Second person's going to be you. Third person's going to be it. This is going to be he or she. When we go get into plural, we're going to use we, you, and they. Okay? When you get to object pronouns, subject pronouns are a lot of times used at the beginning of sentences, and objects are used at the end of sentences. So you'll have me, you, it, him or her, us, you, and there. Okay, so if you look, the next one is possessive pronouns. Possessive pronouns. Mine. Yours. It's. Okay, so we are, well, so for third person, we are going to have his or her. Once again, we're moving into the plurals. We have ours and yours and theirs. Okay, so listen. These are confused so often, and we're going to have even another foldable about this. Okay, so we're really talking about pronouns, but there are such things as possessive adjectives that look like pronouns. Now, we've talked about this in our mentor sentences a couple of times, okay? So I just want you to realize that these are possessive pronouns, and then these are going to be possessive adjectives. Oops. Okay, so those are our possessive adjectives. Okay, so the last one, and these are the ones that you really need the tiny handwriting for, are your intensive pronouns. Okay, and mostly because they kind of go back on themselves. So when you're talking about intensive pronouns and you're talking about first person, you're talking about myself. Okay, so think of the idea that intensive is like you're back on, like you're intense. You're talking about, you're back on to the person that you were talking about. Myself, yourself, itself. You have himself and herself. And I do this with a marker. This intensive pronoun one is really hard. Ourselves, yourselves, and themselves. Okay? So those are all of your pronouns. So if you are looking for a first person plural pronoun, you can come to this chart and you can find them all. Okay? So this is a nice little resource for you. Okay, so on this next page, okay, it does what I have over here, which really isn't the antecedent situation. This is just some more information on our possessive adjectives versus possessive pronouns. So it's got that first person, second person, third person, and then it's also got our singular and our plural. But I kind of want to just show you the difference, okay? You've already taken notes on adjectives, and now you're taking your notes on pronouns. So when we're talking in our mentor sentences, okay, when you look at it as an adjective, when it's an adjective, it's going to describe the noun, because that's what an adjective does. So my hat is blue. Well, hat is our noun, and mine is telling us which hat? My hat. So it's describing the noun. So if you look at all of these in this first column, they're describing a noun. We should probably have a marker for this one. Okay, so these are all describing the noun. Okay, so this is coming over to here. This is talking about this. This is talking about this. So in these instances, these pronouns, my, our, your, his, her, all of these are not taking the place of a noun, okay? They are being used as adjectives, okay? Over here in this column, they are being used as pronouns. So mine is blue. What is blue? Mine. Okay, so I could say Mrs. Thompson's is blue. This takes the place of a noun. Ours is closed. Mrs. Schneider and my doors are closed. Okay, so ours is closed. I can replace that with two names. Yours is far away. Well, my house is close, but yours is far away. So if you were Mrs. Schneider, I could put Mrs. Schneider in there. So these are all replacing nouns. So these are being used as pronouns. They're not describing a noun. Okay? So that's how you tell the difference between a possessive adjective and a possessive pronoun. Okay? Okay, so let's do our last thing. Okay, so the last thing I need you guys to understand is antecedents. Oh, you don't need an S. So an antecedent. Okay? This is the noun. The pronoun replaces. Now, the reason why this is important is because it has to agree. The noun and the pronoun must agree. Okay? So here, we're going to look at the sentence. The floor creaked when I stepped on it. Okay? So here's my pronoun. Okay? So I'm going to put the word it here. Okay? The floor creaked when I stepped on it. The it that it's talking about is the floor. Okay, so that is the floor is the antecedent. So then my question is, does it and floor agree? So that's, you kind of come back and make sure that it works like plural and first person. Okay, so floor, okay, floor is obviously not a person, so you're not going to use first person or second person. It's going to be a third person object, okay? And then how many is there? We're just talking about one, so then that means it's singular. So it's third person singular. So therefore, it needs to be an it. Okay, so does it agree? Yes. Okay, I want us to drop down to number 3. The officer drove its patrol car down the road. Okay, so our pronoun is its. So I'm going to put its here. Okay, so when I talk about this, the officer drove its patrol car down the road. Hopefully we caught on that its means the officer. Okay, so an officer, okay, is singular, okay, but it's not an object, right? Okay. So it's got to be a third person, male or female. Okay. So we would not say its. We would say his or her, right? And it doesn't make a difference. Okay. So I could say the officer drove his patrol car down the road. The officer drove her patrol car down the road. Either one of those works. So then you're going to answer no here. Okay? So what I want you to do is I want you to pause the video. Pause it. Okay? And I want you to do all of these. Okay? Now, here's the thing. Could you ignore me and not pause it and then just go through and fill this out when I give you the answers? Yes. But my question is, what have you learned? So I want you to try to do this on your own, and then so you're going to pause it, and then when you are done, you're going to get on, and I'm going to fill this in, and you are going to check your answers. Okay? So that's your next step. Pause. Okay, so here are the answers for just the antecedent and pronouns. So check to see if you got those right. Okay, now we're going to see if you knew whether they agreed or not. So it should be yes, yes, no, yes, 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 no, yes. How'd you do? Okay, so that was the end of our notes on pronouns. So now you're going to take, you're going to do the IXL over pronouns. Once you have that up to 90 or 100, whichever one you would prefer, then you are going to then go and do the pronoun quiz. And hopefully you do well on that. And I will see you in class.